for that conversation.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate public notice has been given by the Secretary of the Evesham Township Board of Education in the following manner: posting written notice on the official bulletin board of the Board of Education office, emailing written notice to the Burlington County Times and the Courier Post, filing written notice with the municipal clerk of Evesham Township. Mr. Yates, can we have a roll call, please?
Roll call, Mr. Bach.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Mr. DeMarcy. Mr. DeMarcy is absent. Ms. Fox.
Here.
Mrs. Knoll.
Here.
Ms. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson is absent. Mr. Fiscaro.
Here.
And Mr. Conti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Yates. Whereas an NJSA 10-4-12 allows for a public body to go into closed session during a public meeting, and whereas the Board of Education of Evesham Township has deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss certain matters which are exempted from the public, and whereas the regular meeting of the Board of Education will reconvene following the end of closed session at approximately 7:30 p.m., now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education will go into closed session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10-4-12, items 2.2 through 2.4. Do we have a motion to go into closed session? Motion by Mr. Brown, seconded by Ms. Lee. Mr. Yates, roll call, please.
On executive session, Mr. Bach.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Fox.
Yes.
Mrs. Knoll.
Yes.
Ms. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Fiscaro.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Yates. We'll see you back at approximately 7:30 p.m. Would all those who are able please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And reading our mission statement tonight will be Board Member Mrs. Knoll. No worries.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to log on. The mission of the Evesham Township School District is to promote excellence in an environment that engages students in meaningful learning experiences. In partnership with students, dedicated staff, families, and community, the district provides a strong educational foundation that will empower our students to achieve their unique potential, embrace self-directed lifelong learning, develop the skills necessary for appropriate risk-taking and responsible decision-making, respect themselves and others, problem-solve individually and collaboratively, and become contributing members of a diverse global society.
Thank you, Mrs. Knoll. I'll now hand the floor over to Dr. Smith for some presentations.
Thank you, Mr. Canthan. So before we're getting into the agenda tonight, it is the last board meeting for two of our board members, Jamie Lee and Joe Fizzacaro, and we wanted to take a moment as a board to recognize them for their very valuable service. And just want to start with Ms. Lee. So if you don't mind, like, kind of walking her out. I know you love limelight. And I'm going to have Mr. Canthan and Mr. Fizzacaro join me for a second. So Ms. Lee served on the board for the last 3 years. She's currently on the policy and personnel committees. And unofficially, we don't keep official records of this, but I want to say unofficially has probably logged more miles to get to ETSD board meetings than any board member in the history of the district, and probably, covering from like Delaware and DC through snow, rain, all kinds of weather. And I feel like I just always felt like your action of valuing and emphasizing the importance of being here and being present and fulfilling your role in that way spoke volumes about how much it means to be on the board and how much it meant to you and how much it's meant to us to have you on the board. You've got a tremendously bright future ahead of you. We're so excited for you. And just on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for your time.
So I remember meeting Jamie when she was first running for the board. I had coffee with her. And she was asking questions that I didn't even know were questions until I was a board member for already a year. There's never been a board member, I think, whose ratio of knowledge to speaking is so high. So every word you said carries an infinite amount of weight. But yeah, where your career takes you, I think the fact that you knew more than most board members who have served for years before you even got on the board speaks volumes. So look forward to seeing where you're going to go.
If you want to say anything, okay, cool. our second board member, whose last meeting is tonight, doesn't have to walk far, Joe Fizzacaro. And I had to get the dates right in the plaque for him. Took lots of research because he's been on the board for so many years. And this may, again, unofficially / maybe more officially, this may be a record. 2003, 2009, then a little sabbatical, back in, getting married, something in the middle there, right? And then back in 2012 to 2024 to today. I just think of all of the chapters in those years that you've helped to guide our district through. You've opened windows for me into some of those chapters as how we can learn from the past to chart for the future, and that's just been invaluable. I feel privileged you were the president of the board when I came on, you're vice president now, to have known you as a board member, as a colleague, as an ETSD parent, and as a friend. I feel honored and privileged, and just on behalf of all of us, Joe, thanks for gratitude for everything you've given, and we look forward given and will continue to give, because the next chapter still involves the theme of helping our great community become even greater. You're going to be on town council, and so we're proud of you in that way too, because it's you're going to be making a difference in in another venue, but with us in mind. Yeah. So plaque. Yeah. And for those, I don't know if town council meetings go as late as ETSD board meetings, but coffee.
For the early
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
For the
yeah,
early
yeah.
morning.
And
I think in the universe of my life, there is no one I've spent more time on the phone with than Joe Fizzacaro. I remember when I first came on the board, we had a standing call every day at 4:30 where I would ask him a million questions. And never once through all that did he get mad at me for asking 1,005 stupid questions. And I see both his daughters here today. I heard him parenting while he's on the phone with me every week. And there's no testament to service, the fact that he's willing to talk to every board member the way he was able to talk to me and still be a great father, a great husband, a great son. I see his dad here too. I've learned more from Fizz than I think anyone in my time on the board. And I'm not good at these long speeches, but I'll just say that there's no one I learned more from, and I'm privileged just not to know you as a board member, but also as my friend. So thanks, man. All right, we're going to move into public comment. This meeting will now be open to the public, referencing agenda items only. However, if your questions or comments pertain to litigation, student, or personnel items, we ask that you see the superintendent after the meeting. Since we do not discuss these matters in public, please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. Is there anyone who would like to speak on agenda items? Seeing none, we will now move into a consent agenda today. So we need a motion to approve items 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So do we have a motion to approve items 6 through 10? Motion by Mr. Fizzacaro because he wants to get out of here. Seconded by Ms. Fox. Any questions or comments from the board? Before we vote, I'll hand the floor over to Dr. Smith real quick. Do you have anything?
just real quick, just want to recognize our many students this past 2 weeks who performed in the amazing winter concerts, both during the school day and in the evenings. Their talents are incredible and made even more so by our amazing music teachers. Thank you as well for helping prepare those students for those opportunities. Got to attend Van Zant's 5th grade student council inauguration last week. The students gave speeches about why they ran for student council. and thank their families and friends for supporting them in their campaigns. Take that opportunity to thank all of our staff, both in the formal opportunities for leadership, like that example, but in all the opportunities for leadership within classroom roles, safeties, across all of our schools. And all those tie in directly to our social studies curriculum. Little reminder, for families, there's still a survey in the Genesis Parent Portal where you can vote on drafts of our 2025-2026 district calendar. Thanks for considering doing that. Deadline is January 3rd. And as this is the last board meeting of 2024, just want to wish our families and staff a wonderful winter break and rest so we can come back rejuvenated for 2025. Thank you, Mr. Canton.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, Mr. Yates, roll call, please.
On consent for the agenda, Mr. Bach.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcy.
Yes.
Ms. Fox.
Abstain from 6, yes to the rest.
Your abstention from item 6 is noted. Yes to the rest. Thank you. Mrs. Knoll.
Yes.
Ms. Lee.
Yes, but abstain to 10.6 for a family relation.
Your abstention to 10.6 is noted. Yes to the rest. Thank you. Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Fisicaro.
Yes.
And Mr. Compton.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Yates. Moving to item 11, policy. We have no policy. Moving to item 12, committee reports. Are there any committee chairs who would like to share a report? Seeing none, old business. We have no old business. New business. We have no new business. That's not there, right? Yeah, that's from us. Okay. We have no new business.
No new business.
Okay. We'll now move to open public comment for any items. This meeting will now be open to the public referencing any items of interest. However, if your questions or comments pertain to litigation, student or personnel items, or negotiations, we would ask that you see the superintendent after the meeting since we do not discuss these matters in public. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person.
And everyone, my big timer is not here tonight, so I'll just be keeping track on my phone.
Good evening. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Evesham Township School District Parents for Improved Literacy Outcomes. Our advocacy group has expanded to 474 members, and for over a year, we have invested significant time collaborating with national reading advocacy groups, New Jersey advocacy groups, and state legislators. Our ongoing efforts focus on promoting the adoption of effective literacy practices within Evesham Township School District. Specifically, we are advocating for a more structured literacy approach across all language arts disciplines. While some modifications were made to Evesham's ELA curriculum over the summer, administrative leaders remain committed to outdated practices, ineffective resources, and insufficient Tier 1 interventions. A notable concern is the continued use of outdated reading materials, such as books published in 1992. In 2024, it is perplexing that students are bringing home such outdated texts to read. Access to decodable readers is essential for students to practice and apply phonics skills in a manner that aligns with their developmental needs. The reliance on leveled readers from Fontes and Pinnell, which often present overly challenging word patterns, raises further concerns about the curriculum's effectiveness. Furthermore, the Fontes and Pinnell Comprehensive Phonics Spelling and Word Study Program utilized by Evesham includes 100 lessons based on specific principles. As a parent of 2 kindergartners and a 2nd grader, I am still unclear as to what principles are being explicitly taught. It is crucial that assessments for each principle are mandatory and that consistent progress monitoring is communicated to all parents across all grade levels and all schools. Additionally, Evesham's reliance on the Fontes and Pinnell benchmark raises concerns regarding whether the 2nd edition is still in use or if all teachers have transitioned to the updated 3rd edition. As the Fontes and Pinnell website emphasizes the importance of not commingling different editions within the same school. As of last year, the percentage of students with disabilities in Evesham stands at 25.9%, which is notably higher than the state average of 15.9%. This discrepancy prompts questions regarding the effectiveness of our language arts curriculum in addressing the diverse needs of all students. It is essential to consider whether our current educational strategies are adequately supporting these learners. You can't Tier 2 your way out of inadequate Tier 1. There is a pressing need to invest in proactive and effective interventions beyond the existing reading recovery program for first graders. I urge board members to engage in deeper inquiries regarding the resources and assessments currently utilized in Evesham.
Ma'am, you're at 3 minutes, so please wrap up your comments.
Additionally, compare that to the other districts that consistently outperform our district. Thank you for your time.
My name's Amanda Gahn. I'm also here representing the Parents for Improved Literacy Outcomes Advocacy Group. Our group consists of dedicated parents, many educator parents with expertise across educational disciplines. We have consulted with multiple literacy experts within the state of New Jersey, as well as a nationally recognized literacy expert. As such, we are confident that our advocacy efforts are grounded in research and supported by best evidence-based literacy practices. While Evesham continues to remain committed to balanced literacy, we are calling for a shift towards structured literacy. We urge you to take the time to explore the differences between structured and balanced literacy. Upon closer review, we believe you will find that structured literacy provides a more balanced, effective, and equitable approach to teaching reading for all students. Structured literacy emphasizes direct, explicit instruction in all critical components of reading in a carefully sequenced manner which progresses from simple to complex. In contrast, balanced literacy relies heavily on outdated whole language principles, encourages the use of context and guessing strategies to decode words, and provides insufficient phonics instruction. These methods leave too many students behind, particularly those who struggle with reading. Balanced literacy may effectively meet the needs of approximately 60 to 70% of students, primarily those who do not face literacy challenges. In contrast, structured literacy is considered more effective for 90% or more of students, including those with specific literacy difficulties. Implementing structured literacy from the outset ensures that all students receive a solid foundation in reading, preventing the need for later remediation of the gaps often left behind by balanced literacy. This proactive approach not only optimizes valuable intervention resources, but also allows students to develop their literacy skills during the critical period that research has demonstrated the brain is most receptive to acquiring literacy skills. In summary, structured literacy offers a more equitable and proven path to reading proficiency for all students. The approach is essential for building strong, confident readers in our schools. We urge the leadership of this district to take action and commit to providing our children comprehensive research and evidence-based structured literacy. The time to invest in our children's literacy is now.
Good evening. I am also here tonight on behalf of Evesham Township School District Parents for Improved Literacy Outcomes, and I'm here to advocate for the implementation of a structured literacy program across our schools. Structured literacy is an evidence-based approach that is grounded in the science of reading. It focuses on explicit, systematic instruction in 5 critical components of literacy: phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. This approach is designed to ensure that every student, regardless of their background or ability, has access to high-quality reading instruction. Structured literacy is not just another reading program. It is an approach rooted in decades of research and proven to be highly effective. In a structured literacy classroom, teachers explicitly teach students how sounds are mapped to letters, how words are constructed, and how to apply these skills to both reading and writing. Instruction is systematic, starting with foundational skills and gradually moving to more complex concepts. Teachers provide ample opportunities for practice, reinforcement, and review to ensure mastery of each skill before moving on. This year, my first grader in the district came home with a paper stating that the first reading strategy they were taught was to read the pictures. We should be providing our youngest students with strategies and skills to read words, not pictures. As far as your new word study program, I've seen 3 worksheets come home this year pertaining to rhyming concepts and 0 opportunities for those skills to be applied to his reading and writing. Those skills were never revisited to ensure mastery was obtained. Now more than ever, we need to prioritize literacy instruction that is rooted in research. The science of reading is gaining traction nationwide, with many states and districts adopting structured literacy programs as the gold standard. Our students deserve the same opportunity for success, and I'm here today to ask for your support in adopting and funding a structured literacy program across our schools. This includes providing professional development for our educators, ensuring that teachers are well prepared to implement this research-based approach. It also means investing in materials and resources that support structured literacy instruction and providing targeted intervention for struggling readers. We are not claiming to be know-it-alls, but we cannot ignore the research. When you know better, you do better. Please do better. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not used to being on this side of the microphone, but I just wanted to say hello and thank you for a successful year as a school board. I know there's been ups and downs throughout the community, but your dedication, volunteer time, everything that you do does make a difference, and I thank you for all the hours that you spent for our community. I also want to thank you for working together with Evesham Township on many different things, so I appreciate that. Look forward to 2025 and working forward with you on any initiatives that we can make our community better. But I also wanted to thank Jamie Lee for her service, and especially I want to thank Joe Fisicaro, who will be my new councilmate in January, for your many, many years of service on the Board of Education. We really appreciate it. And I know when I first became mayor, we had a good relationship working together as you were the president of the board at that time. And I look forward to what we're gonna accomplish in the future. But we have a good relationship here on the Board of Ed, and I really wanna thank all of you for all the service that you give to our community.
Would anyone else like to speak? Seeing none, we'll close out open public comment. Moving to board member announcements. Are there any board members who would like to make an announcement?
Just a few parting words from me. I wanted to thank all of the board members for everything. I know it's been like some hectic months, a couple quiet times throughout my last 3 years. But it's really been a great joy to see some of the things we've accomplished, seeing full-day kindergarten, preschool expansion, among other things, and obviously a lot of hard decisions, but it makes it that much better knowing that the people around you care, and that's why they're hard decisions, because you know, everyone here is dedicated and trying to do their best. So thanks, everyone, and Joe, congratulations. Good luck on your next adventure. Going from, I think, one public service to another speaks volumes, and I couldn't imagine being on the board without you, and selfishly now I don't have to. So thank you. And just to the public, I think to all the parents and community members who write emails and come to these meetings and speak and advocate, I think it was unexpected when I first joined the board that we would hear so much from parents and get to hear so many details about their kids' lives and emails and things like that, but it's really been a highlight and a privilege, and it's helped. I know it helps my decision making, and I'm sure it helps others. That's really how we get a pulse on the community of, you know, how people are feeling about our decisions, and I think that's really been a privilege to get to hear about all of your lives and your children's lives. So thank you, and that's all for me.
I just have a couple things I'd like to share with the community. But first, thank you both. You know, Joe has been my teacher in high school since I was probably 14. So he's been a role model in my life, and I know you're going to do some great things up there. So represent us proud, represent us well, and best of luck. Jamie, it's been absolute pleasure working with you. So thank you very much. Good luck in your last year of law school, right? Yeah. One half, okay. So good luck to you guys. A couple things, though, that I want to highlight for the community. One of the reasons in a very long story that I'm not going to share, one of the reasons that got me involved in any bit of public service was an essay contest that was held years and years and years ago. So anytime I see something like that, I try to implore parents and students to get involved with it. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals, which is our local jurisdiction, is hosting an essay contest about civics and government and the judicial process. And so if you, as a parent, know your kid might be interested in that, or if you as a student is interested in any bit of that, it's Justin shared that in his email. So please try to find out about it. You just may never know where something like that will take you. You may find yourself sitting on a board of education one day. It's possible. Aside from that, the Evesham Education Foundation, they are hosting their Double Down event, which is a big fundraiser they do. Every dollar they raise goes to support our district. That is happening January 31st. They do some great work. So, if you can make it out to that, go support them and their mission. That would be wonderful. It's a great event over at the Mansion in Voorhees on Main Street, and it's wonderful. So if you could support that, please do. In addition, some of the great work of our students here in our schools were highlighted also in Justin's email. The students, they're hosting fundraisers for the holidays, raising, canned goods, toys for tots, all that kind of stuff for kids in need. DeMacy Middle School, I believe they were supporting Operation Yellow Ribbon, which goes to support military service members serving overseas during the holidays. It's a wonderful organization run locally. Beeler was supporting the Voorhees Animal Orphanage, so they're doing some great stuff. The only other thing I wanted to mention, one last thing, and then I'll let my time run out. But the state is beginning their process on determining state aid pretty soon. So we'll be getting information on that next year. However, they're giving us the opportunity ahead of time to have an input on that. On January 14th and 16th, the state is having hearings both in Trenton and in Camden County at their emergency services building, where they're going to give the public of any community the opportunity to go and speak on their community's behalf. And that applies directly to state aid funding. So, so much of what our budget is influenced by is finding out how much money that we're going to get each year from the state. This is my call to action for our public leaders, for the community at large, parents and especially students, to register for one of those hearings and go and offer your peace of mind as far as trying to advocate for our community and get as many resources as we can and let them understand what our values are and why it's important that they consider that when they're determining how much funding we get every year. It's the quintessential issue in our state of our time. So anything that you could do to provide input on that is greatly appreciated. Other than that, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody, and that is it for my comments.
Thanks, Mr. Marcy. Are there any other board members who would like to speak?
I wanted to bid farewell to Jamie and Joe. I can't believe as I sit here tonight and look there that the two of you won't be here next month. You will leave a big hole. Jamie, when you first was elected, I didn't know what to expect. Were you a sophomore at that time? But you really, really have done a great job for the students here. I know you took your time in learning about all of the issues that came before us, and you really put what was best for the students, my kids, all the kids out there, and I will be grateful to you forever. And best of luck as you finish law school, and I am sincere when I say you will be missed here. Joe, you're not going to be missed. I'm only kidding. Joe, I cannot believe that you're not going to be with us here anymore. We've spent 7 years together serving on this board with Trish, who is here tonight. I'm sorry for the shout out. And we've been through a lot together, Joe, and you've always been there to provide me guidance and direction of what would be best for the district, bringing all that history that you had. I could always go to you, and you would provide sound guidance to me. And we've been through some very difficult times together, as many of us on here have, in terms of the pandemic, I will never forget our days together. We spent long nights together, and I'm sure I will see you again at town council meetings, and hopefully we can remain friends as you move on to your, the next phase of your public service. So thank you.
Any other board members wish to speak? Do you want me to go before you so then you can go last? Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, you can go last.
You do you.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to go before. I just want to, there's one other member of our board that's leaving us that doesn't sit here at our meetings. Diane Snyder is leaving this month. She is the secretary to the board secretary for any Office fans out there. I don't think that any of us as board members get anything done without Diane's hard work, and I know that John doesn't get anything done without Diane's hard work. From your first, from as soon as you get elected up until you leave office here, Diane's fingerprints are on quite literally everything we do, both as a board and as board members and as a business administration office, and as a transportation department. So I just wanted to shout out Diane for all of her years of thankless service, because she doesn't like the spotlight or like to stand here, but at least us as a board, we recognize everything you do, Diane. I'm privileged to say, in the same way that I am with Jamie and Joe, that you're my friend, and I look forward to where life takes you after this. So, all right, you can go now. If any other board member wants to speak, Joe's going last, so now's your chance.
I'm going to jump in.
Oh, sure.
I plan to acknowledge Diane, and I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't, but Diane has been with this district for the better part of 2 decades, and served in a dedicated fashion. She's knowledgeable, friendly, but she's critical to the efficient functioning of the business office and this board, and she will definitely be missed. Diane, if you're listening, I will miss you, but we will remain friends, and we all just wish you luck in your next adventures.
You're building me up here, and I don't think I have much. Honestly, this is the most nervous I've been for a meeting in a long time, because I'm used to this process. It's a process that I've been a part of. And, I was thinking about this. I was talking to Gary. I kind of stepped away from executive session for a moment, and we had come to the conclusion that a physicaro has been on a board of education in this town for 37 years. So our reign of terror is over. You're free from us now. So it was a very, very weird thing for me. And, I was thinking about that, and I thought about Jamie and Aiden, and how I've had a soft spot for both of you, because I've understand what you've had to do coming in at such a young age. I still had a month left at Stockton when I first came here, and people automatically question you when you're young. Well, what's he doing there? What was this? Is a stepping stone? Is he trying to do something greater? Yeah, that took me about 24 years. So I'm really bad at stepping stones. I hope that yours are much quicker than than mine. Jamie, I thought you won in one of the most incredible ways. I thought you dedicated yourself in such an incredible way, because you dedicated to both, not just to the community, but to your family and to yourself. I find that incredibly special. You have had a quiet demeanor, but your intelligence is always seeped through, and our conversations have always been wonderful, and I've always appreciated that. And I'm grateful that I'm ending my term side by side with you there. I think for a lot of us, we do this because we've been through this system. We know someone who's been through this system. I mean, I grew up here. I went to Van Zant. I was in this building for a year. I opened up DeMacy as a 7th grader. And, the cliche is you want to give back. That's always the cliche. Well, there's reality to that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the teachers that I had. I mean, it was Mrs. Tobe who taught me kindness. It was Joe Benedict who taught me how to disarm with humor. It was Nancy Stallcup who pushed me into theater. These people, they made me who I am. And I know that continues on for other kids. I will say that I've always believed that the virtue of a person comes from how you treat other people. And you've always treated me with kindness. And I hope in some way that I have treated all of you with respect and with love. I love this district. I love everyone in it. And I'm grateful for all of you. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms. Fox, seconded by Mr. DeMarcy. All those in favor? See you next year.